Ham's back. We love him. We know what we got now. And we also got Rihanna back, and it's like, oh, it's all happening. You do think you're like, whoa, Shy Ronnie, that was a hit. Can we do it again?
I want to say
yes.
Her side asked.
Really?
Am I wrong?
I believe it was like, what are we doing this time? We're back. Like, is it time for another Shy Ronnie? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the first time, if you recall, it was kind of her people's idea, like, hey, we would love Rihanna to be one of your shorts. But then it kind of clearly from us had come from just reps.
Yes.
And then this time, though, it was also Rihanna being super nice and being super down.
And how quickly did you come up with Ronnie and Clyde as the idea?
I want to say I had the phrase Ronnie and Clyde in my notes doc as soon as they booked her. So like weeks in advance.
Yeah.
And then it was a classic, like, how would we make it that, Keith? And then we just started talking about it, and Bank Heist made most sense.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yorm, were you back this week, or are you still not there for this one?
I don't.
Where were you?
No, and I'm
Yorm
trying to
missed
think of like
weeks and weeks at this point, and we don't know what he was off making
or what he was doing.
No, because it's not MacGruber.
No.
So I don't know. It wouldn't have been like MacGruber Press. There's no way I would have been fucking let out for MacGruber.
What season is this for us?
This is 2010.
This is the actual Halloween episode. I know there was something where it said Happy Halloween or something
of
last
2010.
week. Of
right?
2010, yeah. October 30th. I'm looking at the rundown. We got our rare first sketch after the monologue with no commercial break, like the commercial parody slot, where it's right after.
Yes.
You know, we got a great show.
That's a big slot.
Rihanna's here, so stick around. We'll be right back.
I feel like Great Day and this one are the only ones, maybe, or am I forgetting some?
I don't know. If you had asked me if any did that, I would have said no. Like, I don't remember it happening. That's so crazy that it would just go right out of the monologue into a short.
I would never have said no.
You do?
I knew that. Oh, yeah.
You remember that happened?
Yeah, and us always being like, whoa.
Yeah.
I do want to say this is just from the first act of the show. Biden cold open, Myers, Ham monologue, Myers, Mulaney, digital short, Sandberg, Shafford, Taccone. So this was we really earned our keep this week.
We did, and a total fucking sausage party. Am I right?
By the way, you're on the next two after commercial break. Vincent Price Halloween, which is a Hader, Mulaney, Myers, and then Back to the Future screen tests, which is a Jost Myers.
That was a good one.
I think I was in that as Cage, right?
I don't know.
You're just owning those first two acts. To what you were saying, Seth, I remember shooting this close up, and it happens on movie sets to me still sometimes. Like on Naked Gun, I'd be shooting scenes and then occasionally go in for a real close up that only movies do.
Yeah.
Like one that cuts off the top of your head level close up, like what we're looking at here. And all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, I need to be in close on Liam Neeson's face all the time. It's more compelling than most things. And it's why he's a movie star, where you're just like, there's nothing more interesting that elevates it up to feeling like it's a real movie. But I remember shooting this shot and being like, what the fuck? It looks like almost computer generated for how perfect her face looks.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
She should do like a cosmetics line or something. You know what I mean? I think she could sell. I think she could sell a lot.
To talk about this for a second, just because it's movie making, and that's something I sort of got from you, Keith, is that the eye line should be about 3/4 of the way up the frame, and this frame that we're looking at is exactly that, where her eye line is about 3/4 up.
It's another one of those rules that's meant to be broken, but when you do break it, you should be doing it with real purpose.
I always like it, just composition-wise.
You should be doing it on purpose for effect, like in The Curse.
Exactly.
Yeah, Sergio.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like this time around, it's like, because it's a sequel, we have a long intro, and she's filling the space more. The BPM, I think, is slower also.
Yeah.
Like, it has a lot of shine to it, but I do feel like it's like a little less laughs per second up until this point.
Right.
And yes, the answer is yes, there is a demo of this somewhere with me doing all of her singing yet again.
And how'd you think you did?
Better than the first time.
Oh.
But like all the little things in here, we've thought of all of them. Do you remember this when we were recording?
What do you mean by all the little things?
Every like thing that can
all
be...
the little things.
Yeah.
It's the same as last time, though. Like, all of it was by design.
I love that we said you test I.
Mm-hmm. It was T-.
D-.
T- made this beat.
Yep.
I still have that dude's number.
T- with the heaters.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh, you know what I was thinking when it was playing, though, is we rarely do the SNL sequel sketch that is the, as we call it, the Mad Libs version of the first one, where you're like, yeah, well, here were the beats of the first one. Let's just erase the jokes, kind of come up with a new overall theme, and then do jokes that are new ones. And this is one of the rare times where we did it. And I don't feel bad about it or anything, but it is like the normal SNL sequel, The Dick in a Box, would be something else in a box.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Or here's a new present for Christmas, or now it's Valentine's Day, here's a new present.
Well, Shy Ronnie became a sketch when it became one set on the first one.
Right.
Yes.
It is interesting, though, because you could easily have figured out something else for them to do with a shy guy and her, but we decided to do a traditional SNL sequel.
I mean, it's a little bit more of a story now, kind of.
Well, yeah, let's watch it all the way through and see what kind of diversions happen.
But can I just say before we move forward though, T Minus is a big Canadian producer. He did a lot of massive hits for Drake. So
After this, I bet, but yes.
I don't think so.
Probably on the power of this, if I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, go ahead.
All right. There was a lot of great stuff in this last. Number one, the seamless inclusion of John Hamm, who obviously was not there the entire time we were shooting. And we just were like, if you're down there, no one's going to notice.
I mean, let me just ask this. Like, were you guys, when it was over, were you like, hey, because second time you did a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Because you've already done Mother Lover.
The
and
Laser
did
Cats.
you feel like, oh yeah, Laser Cats. But did you feel like, hey, we did a good job?
Definitely.
I remember being like, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It played.
The shame we talk about when we let down one of our heroes, like a surf meeting or the testicle song with Hanks or whatever, where we kind of feel like we didn't rise to the challenge that we wanted to. You get the inverse one when you feel like you did deliver. Like we were so proud about the first Shy Ronnie that we were like, we did a good one with Rihanna. That is so cool. And to have her come back and be way more just familiar with us is like a reward as well, to just be like, yeah, we made a hit together and let's try again.
Yeah.
So there's a pride just even in doing it. And then we were glad that it worked again.
Hey, do you guys remember this short?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh,
Well,
interesting.
Andy watched it.
I rewatched
He
it.
texted me last night.
I did rewatch it.
Had you remembered it before you watched it?
I did, but I hadn't watched it since it aired, and I remembered it going bad and being like, I was wrong. But then watching it again now, I was like, man, was I just in a whole other mind space.
How so?
I guess you disliked it.
Just, I thought it was like,
Good.
yeah,
You thought it was good on the rewatch?
no.
Okay.
When we
At the
wrote it,
time.
I see.
when we wrote it, now you guys have to take credit.
Well, no, I don't, because I had quit this season. That's what we figured out.
No,
No,
but
you're misremembering right away.
it was written during one of our album sessions. And
Seth,
then,
you know how you keep being like, you're sitting on all this gold, all these
Yeah.
songs. Why don't you do one on the show? You've done Shy Ronnie, a new one. Why didn't you ever do any of these? Well, here's the big first one.
yeah,
So this is an album track.
we wrote it.
Okay.
We all together, all three loved it. Just kidding.
Wait, what is this short? I just don't know what this fucking short is.
It was, what was that?
Right, because this is to remind you, you're not at the show.
No,
this
yes, I was not at fault for the video.
Yeah, so we recorded it. To be fair to the statement I just made, we knew on some level it was not I Just Had Sex or Jack Sparrow or something.
No.
And that is why we felt comfortable doing it, because we thought it was a little, or at least I thought it was a throwaway one. So I was like, oh yeah, that'll fill the time.
I thought it was a throwaway one.
But I thought it was going to go on the
But
album.
I thought it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I also really thought it would be on the album. And then once it aired, we were like, oof, that is not going on the album. I'm so glad we did that, because now our album's going to be better.
It's really true. It was a
Yes.
real lesson.
Yeah. I mean, we'll watch it. The disconnect for me was thinking that anyone would be able to laugh about the things that are mentioned in the song.
So
The-
how quickly into watching it on the night were you like, oh, like, of course.
Pretty quick.
And did you know it dressed? Did you have a moment of like, oh, this shouldn't air?
I don't think it was that strong.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
There's also an interesting choice made in it where, like, I wish we had kept it all as TV feed cameras, but we switched to like glossier steady cam. And watching it now, I was like, oh, it would have felt more protected if we hadn't been like, now check out the slick version. So it felt more like an actual thing that was happening with these kids. And then this one really old guy pretending to be a kid.
Why'd you make that bad decision, Keith?
think we
I
made
need
it
to
all
rewatch.
together.
I haven't seen this since the day it aired, so I don't even remember. I forgot that it was at a UN kind of thing till you just said that TV
Let
camera.
me
and I
say
went,
this, though, Keith. That is not why it didn't work.
Well, Andy and me and Andy were texting last night. Andy was more bullish about this than me, and I'm gonna put you in the category you're in because you probably, even though you weren't there when we shot it, you were there when we recorded it.
Yeah, sure.
But I didn't dislike it, but it was definitely a shrug for me a little bit, where I was like, I get it, and it's fine, let's do it. But I don't want to put words in your mouth, Andy, but you were just more into it for whatever reason.
I think that happens occasionally with me and Andy in particular on recording, where I really sort of like us fucking around, and occasionally it's maybe a little thinner. I don't know, Andy, do you agree with that?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. You know, like you got to see them through to find out. Like there's certain ones that we were like, I don't know if that's even anything, but then because you started and you do it, you realize it's one of your favorites by the end, and then sometimes it isn't.
I have lots of examples that we've talked about where either both or one of you are starting something that I'm like, maybe like, I'll use an example of Ibiza from Popstar. Andy kept being like, let's do that song about Ibiza. And I'd be like, that's such an old observation. I don't know what there is to it. And then the moment I was like, fine, I'll record you. And I just got on the computer, like, here we go. And I was like, I don't want to stand in your way. So I'm like recording it. And then as soon as with the music and with his voice.
Do you like, before we do the rewatch, do you like it musically, Andy? Like comedy aside?
No, because it's also my voice is really grating. It just has a lot of things going against it. I really liked that beat.
Yeah.
And I really like the synth line that comes in at the end when Arcade Fire starts singing.
Do we remember who made it? Does it sound like a...
I think it's like a Drew Campbell maybe, but I could be wrong.
It sounds like that's what it is, but I don't... We'd have to look it up.
But yeah, I don't like the lyrics we wrote for Arcade Fire. They seem a little too pleased with themselves. Not them, the lyrics. I mean, see what you guys think. But for me, I was just rewatched it and was like, oh man, I just would have done so many things differently or not done it.
All right. Well, Keeve, you want to lead the way?
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be based on Andy's preamble.
Oh, okay.
At all.
I'll take that.
You were singing irritating. Your opening salvo as a kid in Model UN, you were great, Andy.
I was with it. I was like, hey, maybe it's going to be good.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have those moments where you're like, oh my God, Arcade Fire, they're so great. I can't believe they said yes. Like while it's playing and you're like, this isn't quite landing. Do you have any, like, how do you feel? I mean, you mentioned it, Andy, but are you really like, oh, it's going to be awkward to see them?
It definitely, like once you see it air in front of an audience, you mean?
Yeah.
Because on set, we were like, maybe this is going to be great.
Of course, yeah. And I'm sure they felt the same way. They're like, great. And also like, because they're putting their trust in you, of course.
Exactly. And they had been in the office meeting one for a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
did like a Yorm dances with them. We were pals with them in a way that I don't think it felt as shitty to like, if you didn't know them as well.
Also the whole, it's every show is so hit and miss of an SNL, obviously, that this doesn't like stand out once it's in the 90 minutes to me. It just cruises right by. So it's just us holding ourselves to a different standard.
I think maybe for me in rewatching it, Keeve, is just like the beat drops and I just scream, the Holocaust, and no one laughs. Right. I'm just like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, but I mean, the jokes, it's getting, not the hugest laughs, but it's getting laughs on what it's supposed to.
Also, I personally dislike that we made the choice to scream Arcade Fire because everyone knew it was them. It just felt very SNL-y and overly presentational.
Agreed.
I'm just down on it.
Was that out of fear that they weren't famous enough, but they were the musical guys?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. Second time.
I'll be curious if there's some defenders in the Quades, the way that like Daiquiri Girl gets weirdly defended by being so bad.
I gotta agree with Andy though. I think if you guys had shot it without the steady and kept it all within the context of UN footage, I would have been way more into it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been any funnier. What I would like about that is it would be protecting it, as Andy said. It would just feel like we hadn't tried as hard.
Yes, exactly.
One, but two, if it had been actual kids doing the song instead of me and not doing it in that annoying voice, I think maybe it could have been just a cool, interesting little piece, which is just kids yelling at adults. What was that? Talk to the
being
hand.
Like, you fucked up the whole world. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah.
And then it might not have been huge laughs, but it at least would have been like a complete
would have gotten
thought.
our point across in a clear way that didn't try to be thirsty as well.
Keeve, to answer your question, do I wish it didn't exist at all?
Yeah, that we hadn't done it.
That's tough.
No, man.
I don't like to ever...
You don't want to change the past, right?
Yeah, I don't like to ever regret something that much that you'd be like, erase it from ever happening, because we learned from it,
Speaking of the ones that, sometimes you don't know if they're going to be what you think they are, or maybe being overly bullish. Me and you were so into Legalize It from Popstar. Mm-hmm. I don't include you, Yorm, in that, but you can include yourself or not.
I like it, but.
Yeah, but I remember just really, really liking it because of how it sounded and because it was different and because I thought, and then for years I've been like, we should have put Fuck Off in the end credits because I like it more now than Legalize It.
I agree with that, yeah.
But it was interesting at the Popstar screening, so it's the end credits and it's playing, and it's a short amount of it that really lines up nicely with the credits and feels good. And it ended, and we were talking about stuff, and I brought it up to the audience because someone brought Fuck Off, and I was like, yeah, I wish it was that one instead. And then everyone there kind of slightly disagreed and was like,
that's a good feeling.
They like Fuck Off, but they were like, no, it's really good there. It fits with the credits. It ends nice. All right, Yorm. So we're here to talk about We Like Sports. We've already done Just Two Guys. Mm-hmm. Before we watch it, would you agree it's the best one of the four?
I think it's my fave. I think that there's some really, really good stuff in We Need Love, but I think this is my fave.
Like when we went on tour, there was no debate between, we were like, we're going to do a Just Two Guys song, we're going to do sports, right?
Yeah, which is kind of weird, I guess, like in terms of, you would always assume that the original would be your fave. But I think that we really hit our stride in this one.
Yeah, and I like the next two when we do them. There's stuff that I really enjoy, but We Like Sports is the winner. This is Incredibad, so this is our first summer in the big Encino house, because Just Two Guys predated it, so we put this on Incredibad.
Yes, and I know we've said this before, but when we rented this house, it was our big expense that we actually, we didn't have an engineer. We're just recording ourselves in this shitty room. I'm just giving a little, backstory again, that everybody knows. And then we were all living at the same house, and and then this was a fantastic place to shoot. I mean, we really shot every part of this house.
Yeah, so we do have the voice note from Chester, as promised, that he recorded back in February when we did the Just Two Guys episode.
We shot this music video at that huge Encino house that you guys rented out after your second year at SNL. And I'm going to make this podcast sound really controversial now.
Uh-oh.
Keith, tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember editing Just Two Guys, or being in the room with you guys, was that Keith was a little pissy about editing Just Two Guys, at least digitizing it. Oh. And I remember that sticking out because I was wondering why Keith was so upset about it. And I was thinking, was it maybe because SNL had given you this infrastructure where you didn't have to do these menial tasks anymore, and you can kind of get shit done if you just ask the powers that be? And whereas this music video was back to Lonely Island shit, where you had to be the assistant editor and the editor and everything in between.
I think that is actually a really good thing to put in, because it was so fucking annoying to digitize shit. And that is one thing that was done for us at SNL. And it's not so much that it was
sounds strong, but I'm sure I was just sitting there being like, oh,
it's
God,
so
I'm just
annoying,
fucking
though.
stuck here.
Going through every shot and ingesting
well, because
shit.
So for the kiddos out there that don't know even what digitizing means, because nowadays you'd shoot, it would go right to a card, and then you would just transfer, the footage would just copy over onto a hard drive, and maybe you'd have to convert it or something.
Yeah.
But back then you're shooting on cameras that shoot onto mini DV tape. I'm assuming that We Like Sports was shot on something that shot onto mini DV tape?
I believe it was XL1 or
the Canon one, or one of those.
Yeah,
little
it might have been
Sonic.
the Canon.
It might have been the little or the little Sony one.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it's mini DV tapes. So even though it's technically digital video, I don't know it's not analog, but it looks analog and it's tape. I don't exactly understand, but it's this real moment when it was between analog and digital.
Yeah.
So it's technically digital video, but it records on tapes.
Yes.
So to get it off the tape, you can't just say put it into the computer. You have to plug the camera, or a deck if you had one, which we didn't, into, the computer, and then one by one, shot by shot, log them in, kind of go, okay, here's where this shot starts, here's where this shot ends, record it, then it plays in real time into the computer while the computer is digitizing, meaning recording it.
It sucked.
And
it wasted
and that's
so
how
much
we had
time.
to make all the old stuff, and then you'd label it and go, okay, that was a clip of this, put it into a folder, and now go to the next. So if you shot an hour of footage, that hour of footage could take you 6 hours to digitize.
Yeah.
And I do think at SNL, well, number one, we were probably using some cameras that recorded right to SD cards. But yes, we did have a little bit of infrastructure, namely Matt Yonks, who, while we'd be filming, those tapes would get run back to him because there wouldn't be time for us to do it. And by the time we got back to editing, he had already digitized them if needed.
What was Lazy Sunday in those? Because those
we
were on
did that
tape.
ourselves. We had
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, this was a huge part of our lives, obviously, like, when it just, like, was so much fucking
I
time.
honestly forgot about it until he said it, and I don't remember being pissy, but it makes sense. Pissy's such a strong word, but I guarantee we were whining about it.
It sucks. It totally sucks.
Ronnie asked me to talk about the time that I came by the house and you guys were shooting Just Two Guys, and he had a vague memory of me being there. Obviously, it was more memorable for me, being that I got to watch the friggin' fucking Mona Lisa get painted right in front of my eyes. Like I was fucking in Leo da Vinci's fucking art studio, but it was in a house in the valley. And I was watching two little Michelangelos act their little hearts out, pretending to love sports. It was just so cool to watch what you guys were doing. It was like, these guys are besties and brilliancies, and they're making stuff that is going to be like, I was like, this is genius. And all jokes aside, it was like those memories to me are very sacred, and they also are inspiring to be like, that's how stuff should be made, with friends being hilarious.
You know what I did watch, Seth, on the Criterion app that is excellent when you're looking for some nice, old stuff to watch that are like 80 minutes? I watched 3 things. One was Bad Day at Black Rock, which I'd never seen.
I just watched that. You know why I watched it?
Huh.
There was somebody had a clip on Twitter of they said Paul Thomas Anderson said he learned more from the audio track of this than he did in film school.
Oh, the director?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just had it had been on my list and it just came on Criterion and someone pointed that out. So I watched it. It's like 80 minutes.
It's great.
It's so rad.
Bad Day at Black Rock, so good. Why did you watch it, Seth?
Because I saw it just like on social media. Somebody wrote, Paul Thomas Anderson said he learned more from this audio track. And then the audio track was the director just talking about the opening shot. I watched like 3 minutes of like the Blu-ray audio.
The director's commentary, you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Wait, so you had already seen that one. Now Yorm has joined, just to go slow here. Yorm, and you liked it, right? It's really good.
Loved it. I was telling you, like, it felt like it was like the reason why a screenplay has the word play in it. It really was like, felt like you were sitting with just excellent writing in an old style that everything comes back. And also, like, we were talking about how just the length of it is fucking perfect. It's so entertaining.
It is Robert De Niro. It is Party at Mr. Bernard's. I, on purpose, did not rewatch it because I wanted to rewatch it with you guys. Do you have anything you want to say about it before we watch it?
Yeah, plenty. Keith, you directed it.
Yeah.
We wrote it together with Bill, is my recollection.
That sounds right.
Yorm, were you there or no?
I was probably in Africa when this happened.
Right, with Chappelle. And then
Yep.
I remember being like so excited about it, thinking it was really fun and loving the look of it, and then being so happy walking onto the set and having it really look like Weekend at Bernie's. And also us being aware that it was crazy how much we were wasting legendary actor Robert De Niro in it, and that being partly why it was funny to us. Of like, so we have Robert De Niro and we're literally going to have him playing a corpse.
Yeah.
But knowing Robert De Niro, he probably liked it.
He found it very funny, yes.
Yeah.
And he understood that partly was why it was funny to use him that way. This was my idea, and it goes in a category that I think we've done a few times, which is like a movie premise or a famous story premise where if it really happened, what would it, like the joke is just what it would really happen, basically. But to me, I have very, very fond memories of this one and remember feeling proud of it, even though I knew it wouldn't be like a quote unquote biggie.
And Weekend at Bernie's was kind of well-worn comedy territory. Like, it is a comedy. It's comedy to begin with. And then it also was such an outlandish premise for a movie. I feel like there had been lots of mimicking of it or parodies of it. And so, but I had never seen this one. And so it was just kind of like, oh, we can do kind of, in our minds, the definitive.
Yes. And I will also say, before we get into it, and then we should, the funniest stuff about it to me and the most fun when we were writing was the little details about like these like babe hound characters.
Can I tell you guys a lesson that I really learned from the three of you? It needed the three of you because I really didn't have a movie career. And what I've learned from the three of you, even working on Hot Rod, where I was on a movie, all three of you there, is that movies are not fun to make, and it's not fun to be around people who are making movies.
When we were shooting Popstar, people would swing by all the time, and it was perfect because it's just like joke bag, goof vibe. You want a party atmosphere.
Yeah.
It just depends on the project.
Well, let's do Stumblin'. Rudd's back, and it's Stumblin'. So, Stumblin', talk us through it. Where do we begin with old Stumblin'?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this was another thing where I had like the first line of it written down in my notes app.
I wasn't there at the beginning of the week, and then I did come in towards the end of the week. If you're having a memory of me on set, I was
Is
there.
this John Solomon?
Yes, I have a voice notes from John Solomon and from Mr. Paul Rudd about it.
But now that you've said it, Keeve, I remember when you came in later, we were having an issue because there was like blank spots in the song and it was idling and it felt lame. And you were like, you should add a big stumblin at the end of each section and put a big graphic on the screen. And it did make it have a lot better energy.
Was that during editing?
During edit, yeah.
Interesting.
Good job, Keith.
Okay, so that was the idea I had then it was me. And it would just is exactly what you would think. Like, let's try and think of as many like weird, funny scenarios that you could be stumbling through. And I knew Rudd would be funny doing the stumbling because his physical comedy is so good.
That's where I wanted to. I know not necessarily all your ideas were dependent on who the host was, but this is a perfect person for stumbling.
Correct. He's so good at doing physical performance that is both sarcastic and grounded at the same time. You know what I mean? Had he already been in Stella shorts and stuff by the time Wet Hot came out? I can't remember which came first.
I don't think so.
I got called in. I directed the Paul McCartney segments.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lorne
couldn't have somebody like
so
Solomon
John
doing.
Solomon is a great director in his own right, but had not directed very much at all at the show and was kind of just graduating into taking over directing on certain things.
It's just a sort of mood piece. It's a little pleased with itself, but it's also kind of fun. Rewatching Stumbling just now, my main takeaway is the moment it cuts to McCartney singing Walking in Slow Motion is great.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. Let's see what John Solomon has to say.
Quick memories of Stumblin' are that it was a 24-hour shoot. I remember seeing crew members curled up in balls at the top of this stairwell where we were finishing shooting.
Oh, no.
Saturday morning, including Jody from the hair department, who we all love, who was somehow still in good spirits, but it was a marathon shoot, definitely the craziest shoot that I have participated in at SNL.
The main thing he reminded me of was yes, and it speaks to exactly what you were just saying, Seth, about the stakes feeling so high. We shot for like 24 hours straight to get it done. Yeah.
I do remember right when I met McCartney that he was just like, don't be afraid. Like, I want direction. I want you to tell me exactly what to do. I think he walks into rooms and people are on eggshells with him because he's who he is. And he was like, basically tried to tell me, don't be on eggshells, just boss me around, like treat me like all these guys. Not because I had done something else, but he had just learned to be like, dude, because I'll be flailing out there and I'll look worse. Like, tell me when I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
Just give me tons of direction, shout it out. And so I think that's the reason I was like able to just immediately be telling him something about Berlin. I have no clue what it would be.
Right.
And I also want to say, in a real, because I do think a good message is how hard this shit is. Because you have Paul McCartney, genuinely great moment. You and Rudd are great the whole time. And just something just doesn't quite click together.
It's nice and short.
Yeah.
It's nice and short.
It's fun. It's a fun one.
Here's what it's lacking. Hard laughs.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to just make something.
Real quick, this is my bad. Like 2 months ago, O'Brien sent me this voice note.
Hey, I can tell that sometime in the next month you're going to be covering Stumblin'. So I thought I'd send you a voice note, obviously.
He helped on it.
Get this into you. I mean,
I just remembered.
To be honest, was probably my biggest week in my 6 years at SNL.
He helped us a lot. He was with us the whole time, and we forgot.
Just because I co-wrote a digital short. It was just kind of when the show went from being a job to me to more like a family. As cheesy as that sounds. I've got a ton of memories.
This is a real burn.
Andy and I coming up with the idea while chatting with Sudeikis in our office. Me, Andy, and Lorne pitching the idea to Paul McCartney backstage at Fallon. A lot of late night writing sessions with me, Andy, and Solomon in Andy's office, just riffing. Basically, from Wednesday night through the show, it was just me, Andy, and Solomon. We started calling ourselves the Three Musketeers, and it was a blast. It changed things for me. I remember like 22 hours into the 24-hour shoot, we looked at each other and we were like, I don't know if what we're making is good or bad, but I know that I'll remember this collaboration between the three of us forever and ever.
All right. I just had sex, you guys. This is a big one.
This is a big one. So this is the first one besides What Was That then became not for the album after we did it and went, oh, well, how about that's just a short and got removed from the album. So this is the first album track being put on there.
And is this our biggest downloaded one? Not downloaded, but
This
like
is our
streamed
biggest. Well, It's definitely...
It's interesting because I'm on a Boat went double platinum in the official old school way.
Yeah.
This went platinum.
It's inarguably a better song.
Yes, but this went platinum. But then, since then, whenever we get the metrics from like Spotify's and Apple's, it's by double. Every month it does double what I'm on a Boat does worldwide.
Really?
But because it's streaming, it's by far the most popular song we have.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to talk about your process of coming up with this idea?
Well, I think this one was our process. Me and you, Yorm, right? We
did, but I think it stemmed from you.
This was one of the ones we've talked about in terms of where I went to bed with my pregnant wife in Encino and woke up and these guys had done a first.
Oh my God, she is your MacGruber. Your pregnant wife is such your MacGruber.
Yeah, exactly. My pregnant wife is my MacGruber. And then I woke up and they had done the first chorus, because that's the beginning, because it starts hard right on it.
And the first few lines, I think.
And the first, I think you had most of your first verse.
Yeah. So I think we've mentioned this before, maybe when we were first talking about making the Turtleneck and Chain album. But we had been going for a couple of weeks, and we were like, I feel like we're putting a little bit too much pressure on ourselves to come up with ideas. And a few nights, me and Yorm decided that we were going to be like throwback musician types and smoke weed and try and brainstorm.
We fucked around a lot.
And we had weed, as it happened.
Right? We did, yeah.
And we had a couple of nights, Yorm, correct me if I'm wrong, not that you'll remember, but where we did this, and a lot of ideas came out of it, including the song idea for Turtleneck and Chain, which you had been phrase-wise wanting to implement somehow, and was all how we dressed in junior high. And we jotted down the sentence, I just had sex, because I don't even remember when or why I came up with it. But we had like a bunch of ideas on our like ideal list on a document on our desktop. And then the day after one of those sessions, Phil Lord and Chris Miller came over and we were playing them stuff. But actually, Chris Miller sent a voice note. So why don't we listen to that? Because maybe he'll say it himself.
Okay, great.
Well, I can pull it up. Do you want to tell them who Chris Miller is?
Yes. Chris Miller and Phil Lord are friends, first and foremost, but also wonderful writer-directors who have made 21 Jump Street, the Lego movies, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Spider-Verse, Project Hail Mary.
Kind of nuts.
I'm sure I'm forgetting something else.
Two hacks.
That's huge.
Am I right?
They're great.
The Brooklyn Nine-Nine pilot.
Yeah, they directed the Brooklyn Nine-Nine pilot, and they were the producers of the Awesome Town pilot.
Exactly.
So we've known them a long time, and we love them very much.
Here we go.
Okay, here's what I remember, and it's not very much. We came to visit you guys in your McMansion. There was a bunch of amazing songs that you guys were working on, and there was a yellow legal notepad that a bunch of song titles of things that you hadn't recorded yet and may or may not be doing. And I was looking through it, and I saw I Just Had Sex. And I was like, that's it. That's the one. You had just done I'm on a Boat, and it was a big hit. And I was like, this is the exact same false braggadocio of I'm on a Boat, but even more so. And I think that Andy, you were like, see, I was telling you guys. And then I think we left, and then you guys tried it.
Yes. My recollection was he looked at that phrase and said, what's I Just Had Sex? And I was like, oh, I think just what it sounds like. And he was like, that's the one I want to hear.
It's great.
And then so that night we smoked marijuana, which is legal now. Mm-hmm. So
right. Yeah. So it was even cooler at the time.
Yeah, exactly. We were edgy.
Honestly, a lot of people would come up to us and be like, you guys must be so high. And we're like, very rarely.
Yeah, that's the main thing you get when you're a comedian, where people go like, what were you smoking when you came up with that? And annoyingly, Just Had Sex, we actually were. So it's like, you actually got us. We're very cliche.
Which is the weird thing is like, I Just Had Sex is a banger and it's fantastic, but it's way simpler than some of your other ideas that might have been more weed forward.
I think that's partly why we were like, let's get high and like release ourselves from overthinking.
Let yourselves off the hook.
Like, let's just do something.
Because I could definitely see you guys saying like, I Just Had Sex is like maybe too.
Well, and this is no, I don't mean this as shade to Akiva. I think that it is actually saying that he's a smarter person occasionally than me and Andy, but some of those ideas that are really, really base. And Akiva, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if you would have stopped us.
I don't know either, but I know the moment I woke up in the morning and you guys were still asleep, and I was like, let's see what these goofballs got up to. And I saw a new folder, and I clicked it and played it. I was very hyped. There was no question in my mind as to whether or not it was a keeper.
I remember that you being like, that sounded good. That's a good start. Let's finish it.
Yeah, I was not confused about what I had just heard.
But so, yeah, we were like, we had flagged that beat already, I think, because we always do that when we get sent beats where we're like, oh, that one sounds like Big Business. It would be cool to come up with an idea for it. So did we already have a reason to think Akon would do a song, or we just thought of Akon after we wrote it?
I thought we did.
I don't think we had any clue.
I think we had an inclination he would, and I can't remember why, Keeve, but like, because the very first demo version, I think it was me doing the temp being like, Akon.
Yeah, yes to that, but I don't think we knew that he was.
But there was like, we taken over and all that stuff, and he was...
Oh, he was definitely our top choice. So, Andy, you found the shot list, if we're bumping to that.
Well, do we want to hear a little piece of the demo?
Yeah.
We always talk about how we do the shitty temp.
So we actually were able to find 2 different demos. So, Andy, you found the one that we sent to Akon, where in the email I said I had cut some of the first verse down, something we must have discussed, and then we had added
the key change.
The key change.
Yeah.
So that one is 2 minutes and 56 seconds, which the song, according to Wikipedia, is 2:48. Then I have another version that is probably from earlier. So I'm going to play that one. This is the demo.
So yeah, some good changes and some questionable ones maybe.
Yeah.
Really Shrek.
Shrek is the one. Like, listening back, like, what do you guys think it was that you took Shrek out?
I don't know. Because the rest are definitely better what we came to later.
Yeah, good thing I had my penis with me is good, but that turned into best 30 seconds of my life, which is a big laugh.
Yeah.
If you like this kind of thing.
Okay, I'm going to play the other one.
Which is this? This is another demo?
Yeah, this is a different demo that Andy found.
Okay.
This is the one we sent to Akon. Musically, though, I will say, all the sections we changed, I think musically got, like, in a good way, sanded down into a more pro-sounding song.
Mm-hmm. Totally. The final version's better. It's just nice to know that, like, it wasn't like it stunk. You guys
But it's an interesting
like,
lesson because it's not necessarily funnier. It's just musically better.
But it's interesting because I agree with you, but some of those lyrics have a little bit more, like there's more words in them and there's a little bit more word sound play that's going on. But like we almost wanted these guys to be more simplistic, I think.
More stupid.
Let's look at this real quick. So this is a treatment for the video that Andy found. And this one is written in the format I would do, but it's really clean compared to most of them. And it's because it had to go to not just SNL people, because we did it with a outside of SNL crew, but it's from 12/9. So we were thinking about this a week earlier.
Well, the label paid for this, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we knew this was going to music video professionals who expect a different level of clarity than SNL people who know you're doing it overnight. This is 3 pages, which is very ambitious. And let's just glance through and see if there's anything interesting. So the overview writes...
He shot this on a show week, though, correct? Like, this is not...
Definitely.
Early in a show week, but yes.
How early in a show week?
I want to say we did Top of the Met Life Building on like Monday or Wednesday.
Okay, so this is the overview. We want this to look and feel like a real Akon video. It should be bright and happy and fun. Shot with dolly and steady, as well as helicopter and crane. We never did helicopter, but that's how bold the overview is.
I remember for some reason doing the hair and nail salon setup, and Keeve, you're in that shot.
Yeah.
And just us giggling so much and being like, right now in this moment, our lives rip.
That's nice. That's
really like we're making like a big ass music video. There's smoked out atmosphere all around this salon, and we're in these stupid robes singing this stupid ass song, and we're all together. Every now and again, the moment congeals that like you're actually getting to do this stuff, you know?
And we knew this song sounded good. I remember having an excitement after knowing what I'm on a Boat could do, of the feeling of like, oh, this is gonna fucking blow minds on Saturday night. And that's an exciting place it's a departure from our normal, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, the song was already done, so now we're just making the video to support it. And we already know that Akon's in it.
Not having to think of, write and record and mix the song all like in the 24 hours before you shoot the video is definitely more fun.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, shooting on a Monday is like a joy. Absolute joy, rather than 48-hour film fest every week.
I'm trying to remember what Brian Tucker said, but he came into the edit the way people always did, the way we talk about work, because we were just in that hallway, and he watched maybe the first 30 seconds when we were editing it, but we were only 30 seconds. Maybe you were there, but for some reason it sticks out to me because we hadn't done something like this all year. When he saw it, there was some really nice way he kind of basically said, "There there they are. Oh, shit. Like as if it was reoccurring characters that hadn't appeared in a while. And here they were again.
I don't think I was there for that particular moment.
I like Tucker's sort of reoccurring role on this podcast as being the arbiter of when you guys have hit your peak.
Yeah, truly.
It's very true. Like, I would feel the same way when Tucker paid me a compliment on something I did. He never gave them away cheaply.
Yeah,
correct. But when he gave them away, they were enthusiastic.
And it was the exact thing we were hoping people would say of like,
right.
Oh, I liked them last time. A compliment
from a deeply cynical person is more meaningful.
Yeah. I remember I always have my shot list when I'm directing with a pen in my pocket, and I take great joy in crossing off shots as we get them.
Yeah.
And I remember taking off my glove and I couldn't get my hand to write. Like it was frozen. It couldn't hold the pen. Literally could not hold it.
Now, Keith,
yeah.
The editing and the energy of this really works and feels really intentional. But correct me if I'm wrong. Akon's face was so cold, he couldn't move his mouth to do the lyrics. So we had to really fudge together each shot to get like the shape of words. And then anytime he's not on camera, we don't have it, right?
Yeah, correct. And I recall this was one of the earlier videos when cameras got to be 4K instead of 2K.
Yes.
In terms of the quality.
We pop in.
We were like shooting in full 4K, but the show just, broadcasts at HD, so we don't need 4K. Ended up being one spectacular take of Akon, where he hit it all. And we end up using that for almost everything, cutting in and out of that same one to make it feel like coverage and energy.
Well, and just to get nerdy for a second, HD quality is just under 2K, is that right?
Yeah.
So basically the math is that if you bump in from 4K to, like, you double it, you're still at 2K. So
yeah, we're still at full quality
HD.
as long as the focus was tack sharp. Yeah, you can blow it up 200% and still be at full quality. We loved working with these music video crews legitimately because we were so used to scraping by at SNL where we were still operating within the cracks of SNL, nothing like how it is now. So to have dedicated crew to us was always so exciting, but it meant that we were working with people we didn't know who might do something like that.
I think it's possible that I was like lightly sick and or hungover or tired or something, and they were trying to fix that.
Yes, I think you were. Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you might have a cold to me.